Good morning everyone and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Nina and I am currently a third year vet student here in South Africa at Onderstepoort campus. And today's video is just going to be a quick one about all the modules that I have this year. I'm pretty sure that I will do at least one update later in the year or at the end of the year where I will give you a bit of a more in-depth, description of each of the modules, maybe some study tips, all of that. But for now, each of these modules I've only had about once or twice, so it's really just going to be an introduction and just pretty much giving you the basics of what we'll be doing this year. So I hope you guys enjoy it. So the first module that we have is VPH 300. For those of you who watched my second year modules video, you would know that we had VPH 200, I think it was 200, in second year, and that was Veterinary Physiology and Histology. But this one is not the same. This is VPH and it is Pharmacology. So this is basically all the medicines and drugs and stuff that we will be working with, and basically everything about them, why you would use them, their method of action, their side effects, all of that. So it sounds like it's going to be a pretty hectic subject. I am fairly nervous about it. I feel like it's going to be a lot of memorization. And actually last year, during the December holidays, somewhere during the end of the year, we got a message from an older student. I think she's a year older than us, and she was selling her pharmacology flashcards if we wanted to order some, so I did. And yeah, this is everything. I think she said it was like 435 or something, but yeah, let's just take a few here. So you've got the drug, you've got the, sorry, Carla is here. If you don't know, Carla is my dog, but yeah, she's always very concerned for my well-being when I'm talking to my phone. But anyway, so these are the flashcards. You can see here it has administration, method of action, use, and side effects, and you have the name, obviously, which are all very difficult to pronounce. And we will have to memorize this entire box full by the end of the year. So we'll see how that goes. Just a little bit panicking about that, but it's okay. Then our next module is GOP 300. That is General and Organ Pathology. So far, it is one of my most interesting modules. I'm really fascinated by it, and honestly, the best part about it, so far, is that it is about identifying macroscopic lesions. It is macroscopic, guys. Like, I have waited for this day for so long. So I am extremely frustrated with all of the little tiny things, like in physiology, I explained it's a lot of, the different molecules and ions and all of that, and the movement of it and the results of it, which is all really fascinating, and it is definitely something that we should know to be able to understand the rest of the things. But it was really starting to frustrate me to always be focusing on the little things and these tiny little microscopic things that you as a vet will never actually have to deal with. You will be looking at the microscopic things, or you will be looking for certain things under a microscope, but never in the depth that they teach you. So I was getting really frustrated with that, even though it was important work. So it was amazing to me that I heard that this year we will be focusing on all the macroscopic stuff. So basically what we'll be doing in this module is you will be getting, say for example, they will give you a picture of an organ, and then that organ will be diseased in some way. So you will look for lesions. Lesions are basically abnormalities. So anything that is unusual about this thing, you will see it, you will identify it, you will say what the lesion is, what could have caused the lesion, and then, what is sort of the result of all of that. So because this is lesion, this is what caused the lesion, so because of that, this is whatever, you get that whole process. This is also our first module in which we will have oral exams, so I am really nervous about that, but I also feel like that is really important, because obviously when you're a vet one day, it's not like the client comes in, writes down a question for you, and you have to write an essay in response, okay? It is a lot of verbal communication, and you have to physically deal with people, and it is really not just a test that you write for every animal that comes in. So I'm really excited for this module, also really nervous. It is a lot of work. I've heard a lot of stories about it, and even in the introductory lecture, they keep sort of pointing out that we don't have to be terrified of this module. We should, but we also shouldn't. It's going to be okay, but we really should, So it wasn't too encouraging. But yeah, so far it's been really interesting, and since we've had no tests or assignments, there has been no stress associated with it, so I'm still very positive about this one. Our next module is VIP 300, that is Veterinary Infectious Diseases. So we've only had a couple of lectures in this one, but it's basically, all the different diseases, their symptoms, how you would diagnose it, what other diseases you could confuse it with, what could have caused the disease, all of that. So we've already covered foot and mouth disease and also circoviruses. So it was really interesting so far. I'm a little bit nervous for this one. I just feel like it's a lot more theory than it is practice. For example, with the previous one with pathology, it's a lot of you look at it and you deal with it. Whereas this, I feel like it's a lot just theory and words on a paper and studying. So, it's going to be a lot more self-control. It's going to be a lot less interactive than pathology will be. So I'm a little bit worried of getting bored and then falling behind, and it's still a really important module. So just a little bit worried about that one, but so far everything is still fine, still up to date with the work, so I've got a good start. The next module is Tox 300, so it's TOX, it's toxicology. So basically all the different plant species, all the illnesses that they can cause in animals, everything along that line, the side effects that they cause, what the plant looks like, its scientific name, the result of eating the plant, the result that the plant has on the animal, how you would diagnose it, how you would treat it, all of that. We'll see how it goes for the rest of the year. I feel like this one could also be fairly interesting. It's really interesting to be able to actually see those things, where I feel as a lot of the things that we have learned so far are very abstract and not things that you see every day. You sort of only see it in practice and, in very specific situations, where this is sort of something that you can see and deal with every day. And I also feel like that makes it a lot easier to learn it because you can just physically see where it is, what it looks like. So the next module is VTP 300. It's actually an incredibly interesting module so far. It is parasitology, and it is actually incredible to me, even after so many years of learning of these kinds of things, how many people, including me, so often confuse what the parasite is and what the vector is. So basically what we do in this module is we learn all the different kinds of parasites, and then also we have a lot to do with ticks and mites and lice and all of those things. And you also have to learn how to identify all of that, which is also really interesting to me and also very applicable because I find those ticks on my dog and on my horse and not really on my cat, to be honest. But anyway, so that has also been really interesting to me, but a really important thing that people keep confusing, and that is a very important mistake to not make, is that the tick isn't actually the parasite. The tick isn't the thing that is making your dog sick. The tick carries the parasite. The tick is just a vector. So that has actually been really interesting. I think we had the lecture yesterday, and it was such a confusion because we were going through and we were doing the questions, and everyone was just so confused between the vector and the parasites, because you always sort of see it as one thing. You see a tick and you're like, oh, but the dog's gonna get tick fever, but it's not because it's not the tick that that made the dog sick. It's the parasite in the tick that the tick gave to the dog. But it's been really interesting so far, and I've really been enjoying it, so hopefully this one will go well. The next module is a really interesting one, and that is IVD 300. So that is an introduction to veterinary diagnostics. So basically we're learning how to diagnose an animal. So yay! We're doing vet stuff. I'm so excited. This is also the best part. So this year we get to buy our stethoscopes for this module. So yay! We're moving up in life. We're becoming vets. So really excited for this module. We have already started with bovine, then we're also going to do equine and small animals this year. So basically, when you go to the vet and, while you're talking to the vet and everything, the vet is like feeling up your dog. That was so wrong. The vet is like, like touching your dog and, like rubbing the stomach and feeling the contents and, taking the temperature and, maybe looking in the ear, looking in the eyes, all that stuff. that is everything that we're learning in this module. So we're learning basically all the things that you check and what is normal and what is abnormal in order to make a diagnosis. And also, I would like to point out how positive and excited I am in this video, and I would love to look back in about 10 months time and see how I feel about all of this at that point. So, but anyway, while we're being excited, let's enjoy it. Okay, so all the previous modules are year modules, so we're gonna have them for the whole year, and then the next 2 modules are only for 1 semester, and it is in first semester, which is honestly great for me. I always prefer to have more modules in first semester and less in second semester. Then it sort of feels like the year is becoming easier and we're just having a little bit less work. It just gives me hope for a brighter future. So the first one is GNS 310, and that is general surgery, which is also incredibly exciting. We haven't done a lot so far. So far we've only done stuff like antiseptics and sterilization, basically how to keep everything clean, which is incredibly important if you're doing surgery. Obviously, everything that you use needs to be sterile and disinfected and all of that. Really excited for this module. I'm also going to get suture pads for this. So it's basically like a little silicone pad with different wound patterns, and then you can practice how to put stitches in. So that is going to be really exciting. So I really can't wait for this module and its practicals. Okay, the last module is VME 310, and that is ethno-veterinary medicine. It is actually a fairly new module, and I am really excited for this one. A little bit apprehensive also, but worried that the same as with infectious diseases, because it's not very applied, that I will get bored and not pay attention. But ethno-veterinary medicine is basically like herbal stuff, traditional medicines, all of those things, and I feel like, especially in South Africa, where we deal with a lot of different cultures and peoples and farmers who have done things a certain way for hundreds of years, it is very important to understand their side of it as well, to see what they use, to know what they use. And also, if you know these plants and these medicines and these methods that they use, then you can also educate them about the right one to use for certain situations. Because not everyone wants to use Western medicine or modern techniques or something like that, and you cannot force them to. So you basically have to use what you have. So if what you have is that you are able to use traditional medicine to heal this animal, then you shouldn't let that go and let that animal suffer, because that is not what you believe. So I feel like it's really important to, as a vet, be as diverse as possible to make as big of a difference as possible. So I feel like this is a very important module, and I'm really glad that they brought it in. And I'm really excited to see how it's going to go throughout the year. We've only had a couple of lectures, an introductory one, and then one that I honestly cannot remember. But don't blame me, it was a long day. So yeah, don't judge me for not remembering, but we have started, but we haven't done much so far. So really interested to see which way it will be going. Another great thing for this year is that we have several pracs on campus. We have GOP pracs, so our pathology pracs will be on campus, where we will actually get to look at the organs, see the lesions, feel them, all of that, because many of these things, it's really difficult to see it on a photo. For example, they'll say that the organ becomes soft or hard, and then, I don't know about you guys, but I don't handle organs in my everyday life. I don't feel them every day. I don't know what they feel like normally. I don't know what they feel like sick, which is also an incredibly important thing in Path, is that you need to know what is normal in order to know what is abnormal. So really excited for those practicals. I feel like it'll make a big difference. IVD, the introduction to Veterinary Diagnostics. Obviously, also we're going to have a lot of pracs on campus. I actually sat and scheduled my pracs just earlier today, and there are going to be a lot, but I'm really excited. We're going to get to work with animals a lot more, so that is going to be incredible. We also general surgery, we have practicals on campus, and I think that is it. So far I'm really excited for this year. I am very interested in all my modules. Still really curious how I'm going to feel about this video in a few months' time, but I'm going to enjoy the excitement while it's here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys can be excited with me. If you guys have any video recommendations, anything that you would like me to do, please leave it to me in the comments. If you guys would like to see more day in the life, week in the life type videos, please let me know. If you guys have any questions for me, whether it's about my videos or just about vet school, you can also email me, and I will have my email address linked in the description. Please remember to like and subscribe for these videos. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!